I'll get it right eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 17 of Brat Said That. I am your host, Brat Jackson, in a little different area of the house. I kind of put my desk in here because we had to put up a Christmas tree. Looks great. The Brat house is very, very festive. We have so much to talk about. We have so much to do. First, I got to make sure I'm live because I got some brand spanking announcements that I need to make on the top of the show. So there we go. I see my handsome face. Babe was watching. If she wants to introduce them, she is more welcome too. Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend was big for us, big for Babe, big for Penny, because we, the Brat Jackson family, has added a new member of the family. Rolly, come on up. Come on up, Rolly. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the family. There he is. There is a newest member of the Jackson household. Rolly. He is our Dalmatian Beagle. He is the best boy. Mwah. He's a good boy. We just got him over the weekend. Thank you, Rolly. I will not bother you for the rest of the show. But I just want to show him to the world. That's our boy. Penny is excited. Still kind of, nipping at his nose. Like, hey, this is my space. This is my house. But he is part of the family now. We love him. He is in great care. First night was kind of hard getting a new dog. Didn't let it sleep. Very sketchy. Kind of didn't know what. Mastered the stairs already. I had to carry him down the stairs and up the stairs the first night, but he's a good boy. Best boy. Penny is happy. Babe is happy. I am happy. He is a little early Christmas gift to the family. And, we've been talking about it for a very, very long time, about getting another dog, getting Penny a little brother or sister, and Rolly just fell in our laps. And we got him. He's a good boy. He's a loyal boy. He's now my new sports companion, so he gets to watch all the sports. Fortunately, we had to watch the Raider game together. But I've been teaching him about John Cena. I've been teaching him about wrestling. So, Rolly, not Raleigh. We keep saying Raleigh. It's Rolly. Welcome to the family, Rolly. That was the name he came with. We were going to change it, but I figured he knows his name already. He's a year and a half. Let's not confuse him. So, Rolly, welcome to the Brat Said That. This is what Daddy's going to do 2 to 3 times a week. And, we'll get you going. We had Chad LGBT and his sport picks. We got Penny's polls. So, Rolly, we'll figure out something. I'll give you a job. Nepotism already on the Brat Said That household. But, he's laying on my knee. He is so cute. He is so cute. I wish you can see Rolly right now. So we're going to take a little open up with the Coke Zero to Championship Cup. I do want to say something else. She's more of a private person, but one of my great friends just had a baby girl. So shout out to her and her family. Uncle Jackie and Aunt Babe will certainly be giving her a nice new Christmas gift for her first Christmas. What, is it a Scorpio? Another Scorpio? No, I think she's just barely a Scorpio. Another Scorpio in life. But there we go. Let's take a sip to all the new additions to all the family. Hope everybody's having a great week. Had a great weekend. So here's to us. Head to family. Speaking about family, speaking about things we love, we need to talk about wrestling. Raw last night. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. As you know, we always start off. Oh wait, I need to put on my my wrestling on my TV. Excuse you. Am I live? Am I still alive? What is going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. I put on a Survivor Series 2001. Yeah, we need to talk about how that was a crap show of a... Anyway, back to Raw. We can go over it because it was a good Raw. Survivor Series is this Sunday. Dominick Mysterio is facing John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship. Dominick Mysterio comes out classic. He'll get booed by the fans. All of a sudden, John Cena's music comes out, and out comes not John Cena. I think they're calling him John Wena or something like that. Syko from Micro Wrestling Federation. I hope that's what they call it. Micro Championship Wrestling or something like that. I've been following them on Instagram for a long time. So good to see Syko. He played little John Cena. I'd like to just point out, Syko took a kick, a 619, and a frog splash before Rey Mysterio came out to the ring to save him. Ray, you kind of got to do it quicker than that, you know. But we do have Dominick Mysterio versus John Cena at Survivor Series. I'm excited. Put the title back from Dom. Should have never taken it off in the first place. I get it. You wanted to keep it for John Cena, make him a Grand Slam champion, but Dom is the way to go. Then we have, speaking about John Cena, Last Time Is Now tournament is still heating up. I was rooting for Carmelo Hayes. Now, I love Gunther, don't get me wrong. But we just saw Gunther give Goldberg his last match, you know. Wasn't that great? So, I guess they're going to go with Gunther versus Cena. I was pushing for Carmelo Hayes. And then we have Solo Sikoa versus Penta. Penta got hurt. Legitimately hurt. He might be out for a little bit, guys. It stinks because, you know, Zero Mero, I love Penta. So we're going to have to see what happens with him. That was a tough crash. Yeah, then I think we, on the other side, SmackDown this Friday was taped. We can go over the spoilers. I don't have them right in front of me right now. But if we want, we can talk about the SmackDown that's taped because of the holiday season. Logan Paul. So, if you don't know, it's going to be Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Drew McIntyre, and if somebody eventually picks him up, Brock Lesnar, versus Jimmy J. Uso, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. The Super Avengers versus the Super Bad Guys. Hey, Logan Paul wrestled on Raw. Shout out to him. I think if Logan Paul didn't have his history, like the YouTube controversies, a lot of people would give him more respect than he deserves. I like Logan Paul's wrestling. Don't get me wrong. I know I just kind of contradict myself. I don't like his YouTube stuff. But he's wrestling on Raw. He's wrestling on the, you know, and he's good. He's actually pretty good. He's putting in his time. He did say something funny, which I thought was funny. The Undertaker was like, they posted this thing about The Undertaker joining YouTube, and he's like, oh, I'm sick of these outsiders thinking they can just join the business. You know, like Logan Paul was a YouTuber and I was a wrestler, and they were giving him crap. And now he was like, oh, you know, Undertaker being a wrestler joined YouTube. I thought that was pretty funny. Also funny, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar gave a tumble. He came out with his dun 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 dun, did his little thing, and tumbled on his tuchus. I thought it was hysterical. A lot of people are making gifs and memes. Hey, Brock, you're a silly dude, man. You're a silly dude. But that's gonna be Survivor Series. I'm so excited for Survivor Series. I'm off. I got friends and family coming over. We're gonna have Thanksgiving leftovers. We're gonna have Rolly, Penny, and their dog that they're bringing. So I'm excited. We're gonna have a house full of love in this Brat house. What else happened on Raw? You know, we can talk about the women. So it's gonna be Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch. She was like talking about like Asuka and Io's, Kairi Sane and Lash Legend and Nia Jax, and she was just talking about like, you know, I got Nia Jax on my team. I might beat her 9 out of 10 times, but she made me worth. And then she's like, with Kairi Sane and Asuka, she's like, Asuka, you know, she might want to be Becky Lynch, but she's great too. And it was just funny. She's just being so contradictory. Like, she's just being a butthead. And then you got the good girls, Rhea Ripley. God, I'm doing this offhand because I really want to like not use my child LGBT producer for this show. It's Rhea Ripley, it's Io Sky, it's AJ Lee, surprisingly, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss. I thought it was funny. At one point, Alexa Bliss and AJ were on the back of, I think, Nia Jackson, Last Legend. And it's like little, like, it's getting choked at them by them is like, wearing like a jacket and a turtleneck. Oh, what was that joke that he said? Getting choked at by a midget is like wearing a turtleneck and a backpack. I don't know. Rest in peace, Mitch. But that's Survivor Series. We're going to talk about it. I don't know when I'm going to be on this week. I want it, like, obviously, Thanksgiving, I don't work because we're closed. Friday is Black Friday. I got to go in earlier, and I don't get off till late. Saturday, we got people coming over, so we'll figure something out. Oh, by the way, we had internet problems this morning. I was like, hey, AT&T, fix my internet. I got a show to do, okay? I got tens of people watching this, so I need to go on. But that was Raw. That was a good Raw. I liked it. I love when I'm off Mondays. I get to watch Raw, get to hang out with the dogs. Then I did watch AEW Full Gear. We're going to talk about Full Gear right now. This is going to be the majority of the show. It's Full Gear, Shout out to my guys at bodyslam.net. They are so on top of everything. They let me use a nice platform, HBO Max pay-per-view, to watch the show. So shout out to them. We can go over the card real quick because I thought it was a great show. We'll talk about the ending. The ending was a little bit... excuse me. Oh, first cough of the show. Oh, I needed that. The first match, they did like this tailgate brawl. Bang Bang Gang. Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson with Ace Austin defeated Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, Big Bill and Brian Keith, and the Outrunners, Tooth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, with Dalton Castle. I really like Dalton Castle. I'm glad that he was there. If you don't know Dalton Castle, it's phenomenal. His gimmick, the boys, the peacock. One of my favorite things in like the 2017, 2019 era Ring of Honor. The Bang Bang Gang won. The winners received a $2,000 cash prize. So good for the Bang Bang Club, Boom and Doom, Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall with Aaron Solo, Big Justice, and the Rizzler defeated RPG Vice, Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta with Don Callis. I love the Big Boom. AJ, Big Boom AJ was a professional wrestler, I think, on the Eastern platform of the world. And they're doing a great thing. They took a silly little thing like Costco reviews and made it into where they're appearing on AEW. So, who knows, maybe one day, if this show ever blows up, I'll be on AEW. But, and then you got little Big Justice hitting a diamond cutter. If you don't know, that was my finishing move when I did wrestling. So, anybody that uses a cutter has got my heart. And then you got the Rizzler. Shout out to that kid. Good little match. Fun little match. I do want to see more of the AJ. I do. He's in great shape. I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his late to mid 40s. Mid to late 40s. Or maybe even later than that. So, I want to see that. But really, Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, those two legendary wrestlers. Then you got Eddie Kingston and Hook defeated the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake, in about a minute 50. Hook just gave him a quick, whatever they call it, Gutta Hajime or whatever it's called. It's a redneck choke, folks. Excuse me. Quick match. And then you got the last match that bled into the pay-per-view. They did it once again where the last match of the pre-show bled into the show. Mystical, Masquerada Dorada, and Neon defeated Okada, Takeshita, and Hiroshio. I thought that the Don Callis family was going to win. If you want, go to bodyslam.net. We all put our predictions out on the website. I didn't do very good, guys. I think I picked all the losers. But that's why anything I say, always pick the opposite. Let me check into the Survivor Series 2001. Oh, who can remember? Actually, I want to go over the invasion storyline one day with Chris Jericho and Booker T. Five time. So funny thing is, I'll tell you a story about Booker T. When we were at SummerSlam in 2021, we got dropped off from the Uber, had like a mile walk to the arena, in Legion Stadium, and my best friend Terrell looked over and saw Booker T in his like Cadillac, and like he went like this, and the Booker went like that too, and then I remember like I don't blame him for this. I saw like Booker, he like climbed out of his car real quick to take a picture of Legion Stadium. And then like all the fans like, oh my god, this Booker T, can I get an autograph? He's like, no man, no, he just got in his car. I get it. He's probably had to be doing his work. He probably did this pre-show segment, how to get in makeup. I understand. But here's one thing too, because I do want to just take a little. I saw Connor Bernard. He is a Chicago Blackhawks rookie, future of the hockey. He was walking with his friends, and some guy was like, Connor, can I get an autograph? Connor, get an autograph. And I don't know what it's like to be asked for an autograph, but if it's not like a reseller that's asking you to sell like 4,000 things that they're going to resell on eBay, on the internet, I would say just do it. That's easy. Don't follow people in airports and stuff. So here's the thing. When Dean Ambrose, when he came in, him and Renee, they moved out to Vegas for a few years, right? He came in my store about 6 or 7 times before I even approached him for an autograph. Not an autograph, like a picture. And it was just like me and him. I used to work the U-Scan. I saw him. He had to get I had to check him out for his alcohol. Jack Daniels fan. If you ever see Dean Ambrose, hopefully he's sobriety now, or hopefully he can enjoy some Jack Daniels, because I remember he liked Jack Daniels. Just do it. Don't bug people. Just, I'll talk about all the famous people I've met in my years, but anyway, back to AEW Full Gear. Then the show starts. The 6-man tag bleeds into the show. The team CMML, I'll just call them that, or L Sky Team 1. I was surprised. A little friction in the Don Callis family. Then it started off with Pac versus Darby Allin. Great opener. You start with those two, no matter what. Pac gets the win. And then you got the big 4-way tag team match. Timeless Love Bombs, Toni Storm, and Mina Shirakawa. They defeated the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, and Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. The winners get to choose what the stipulation is for the quarterfinals. I thought it was funny because the announcer's like, oh, Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, it could be anything. It could be a pillow match, it could be a lingerie match, it could be a Tampai glass death match. So we don't know what's going to happen with those. So shout out to them. FTR is the new tag team champions for the 3rd time. They defeated Bandito and Brody King. A good match. I watched that match. I was like, hey, I want to watch this match. Love Brody King. Love FTR. Bandito, former Ring of Honor champion. They're now the third 3-time AEW tag team champions. I saw that thing. It's like, FTR makes history, becoming just the 2nd team to become 3-time tag team champions. I'm like, how is that making history if another team already did that? But I know what they mean. And then we have something I actually predicted. I called this. It wasn't like out of nowhere. But Ricochet defeated and won the inaugural AEW National Championship by defeating the Gauntlet match, defeating Kevin Knight. I predicted it, but it wasn't like a shocking thing. It was not like a Brastradamus type prediction. Ricochet, I don't really like all his flippy-dippy stuff. I think he fits so much better in AEW than he did in WWE. It shows because now he's like the leader of the faction. I don't remember what it's called. But hey, I'm watching AEW, guys. I'm paying attention. The next match, Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley. John Moxley, like I said, aka Dean Ambrose, one of my favorites. O'Reilly won with submission once again. Another 20-minute match. 1, 2, 3 back-to-back 20-minute matches. So, excuse me. I cough because I'm talking a lot. Then you got Kyle O'Reilly. He defeated Jon Moxley. Shout out to him. Mark Briscoe defeated Kyle Fletcher in a no disqualification match to win the AEW TNT Championship. Had Briscoe lost, he would be forced to join the Don Callis family. Good for Mark, legend in the business. After he won, he had like the one thing that they've been doing with the TNT Championship. They're designing different custom belts for each champion, or they have been. So now Mark has a nice camo belt. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Kyle Fletcher. I think he's gonna go on to bigger, better things. So no disqualification. I was putting up the Christmas tree when we were doing this, so I kind of peeked my head in. I saw he was busted open. So shout out to Mark Briscoe. I do want to sit down and rewatch that match. Then you got Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks, cousins Nick and cousin Matt, defeated Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. Matt and Nick said, no, Don Callis, we're not going to be part of your family no more. They reunited with Kenny Omega, so shout out to them. And then I guess they just aren't out of $1 million. So, hey, you do your things. Young Bucks, they're good on face, they're good at heels, they're good at everything. I saw another silly commercial like they did before. It was Matt and Nick, they're on the phones in the office, and they're like, oh, what is that smell? And then Brody King walks by, and Nick's like, Matt, is that you, Brody? And then Brody's like, no, that's not me. And then it cuts to AEW, where the best wrestle. And it's the Beast Mortos, he has his food in the refrigerator, and they're like, oh, come on, Beast, other humans work here too. I love that old school Sports Center parody kind of thing that they do. Oh yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shane McMahon. What a faction that was. Then you got something I'm surprised about. Something I'm so surprised about. Chris Statlander defeated Mercedes Moné. I certainly thought that Mercedes was going to go win her 7,000 title. But Strong Island, baby. Chris Statlander once again retained the AEW Women's Championship. Highlight of that whole thing is during Mercedes Moné, Tommy Invincible was one of the guys holding one of her championship belts. If you don't know Tommy Invincible, he's a guy who he started doing these where he would come through the curtain full of energy. He would come out, he's like, dances in the day, and I had a man. They'd be like, Invincible! And there'd be 4 people out there. But he would be so energetic, high fives, and then he kept posting those things, and then he got he was on GCW with Matt Cardona. So, hey, this is the era for all these up-and-coming professional wrestlers to use social media as best as you can. Post promos, every match, entrances, vlogs. Get your name out there. So shout out to him. Shout out to Chris Statlander. Shout out to Mercedes Moné. Not a big fan of her wrestling, but, you lost. So, I like to see that. I think she's going to lose all those titles, and then what is it? She can win. I think the storyline they're talking about is she can win all these titles, but not the big one, a.k.a. AEW World's Women's Championship. And then the main event, Samoa Joe defeated Hangman Page inside a steel cage to become AEW World Champion. So it ends with Samoa Joe and Hangman Page are in the cage with Rage. And then Hook comes out and double crosses Hangman Page and aligns himself with Samoa Joe. But I always thought Hook was part of the ops. So I wasn't really shocked when I saw that happening. So I don't know. Good for Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe. He's been a legendary wrestler for the last 25 years. But then you got Swerve Strickland comes out, takes his sweet ass time, comes out to the ring. He's jacked, he's buff. And then he beats up all the ops and the Ops Dojo members and stuff. I don't know. Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, they had that rivalry where, like, Hangman burnt down Swerve's house. So why are they teaming up with each other? Why did Hook? And why if it's a steel cage match, where the purpose of the steel cage match is to let nobody come in and with people coming in the steel cage. I hate that shit. I really do. The ending kind of took me out of it. Swerve coming back. I love Swerve Strickland. But what was his purpose? Why is he teaming up with Hangman Adam Page? Obviously, you got to watch the show to figure it out. But I don't know. That it took a long time. I would have liked to see Swerve, like the best thing to do, like Jim Cornette, I think somebody said, anybody, no, Jim Cornette didn't say that. Once you turn off the lights and then you appear in the middle of the ring, you're going to get an ovation. I thought Swerve took his sweet time coming to the ring. Man, I don't know. The ending of the show kind of took me out of it. But for Full Gear, maybe I'll do a grade. I'll give it, it's a B-. That sounds like a good grade. I don't know. I never got those in school. So I'll give it a B-. Shout out to Full Gear. It wasn't as long as it should, Some of these pay-per-views, 13 matches, are really long. I know I complain about, like, long matches and short matches, but it was perfectly paced. So shout out to them, Full Gear. Now, I do want to move on to ESPN did a 30 under 30 with the top wrestlers under 30. And I want to go over the list because you know who's number one? Oh, that was... Oh, my God. Why? If I wish I could just find, like, a list. Not, like, a whole, like... Oh, here we go. ESPN ranks the top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30. Let's go from 30 to 1. So 30, Atlas Jr. 29, Shota Umino. 28, Kalani Jordan. 27, Axiom. 26, Kevin Knight. 25, Starlight Kid. 24, Megan Bain. And then you got 23, Hook. 22, Jack Perry. 21, Daniel Garcia. 20, Jordan Grace, who should be higher on the list. 19, Sol Roca. 18, Mascara Dorado. 17, Seiya Kamatani. 16, Suri. 15, Lara Valkyrie. 14, Gabe Kidd. 13, Kato Kiyomiya. 12, El Hijo del Vaquino. I didn't know he was under 30. 11, Javon Evans. 10, Leon Slater. 9, Roxanne Perez. 8, Oba Femi. How old is Oba Femi? Obviously under 30. 7, Blake Monroe, a.k.a. Mariah May. 6, Ron Breaker. Should be in the top 5. 5, Tiffany Stratton. 4, MJF. 3, Rhea Ripley. 2, Kyle Fletcher. And 1, Dirty Dominick Mysterio. Shout out to the future of the business. Now, few things stick out to me. Some I think that should be higher, some I think should be lower. MJF, I love MJF, but he kind of didn't have such like a great year. He was out doing the Happy Gilmore 2. Shout out to him. Happy Gilmore 2. I loved it. I felt like we needed that. I feel like we were going through some, life is kind of difficult at the time. We needed to just take a night to just laugh, little nostalgia. But I would put MJF a little bit lower on the list. Jordan Grace, I've been a fan of for years, even before she got big. Daniel Garcia should be higher on the list. Javon Evans, Liam Slater. Alba Femi's got a main event WrestleMania one year. Braun Breaker should be in the top 3. And Tiffany Stratton. So, it was a good list. I don't know what I would list them off as, but, shout out to the 30 best pro wrestlers under 30. And, of course, Dominick Mysterio, who I've been praising, who's going to be your next Intercontinental Champion, is number 1, rightfully. So, before we move on to UFC and MMA, I kind of want to talk about somebody who I never would think I would have to, not badmouth, but I do want to talk about Bret Hart. Bret Hart might be your favorite wrestler. You know, he's definitely your favorite wrestler to never. He's your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. That's for dang sure. I love Bret Hart. I love Owen Hart. Even Daddy. But why am I? Come on. I was trying to look at like his. Bret Hart has recently just said a lot of like silly things lately. He's kind of I want to use this word, hateful, grumpy, 4 out of 10. I get it because, you know, we all know his past with Owens passing and the Goldberg kick and him feeling like wrestling never treated him rightfully so. But he's a very bitter dude. He's a very bitter dude. He was talking about Sheamus and how Sheamus punches look fake. And just a lot that comes out of Bret Hart's mouth the last 5 to 10 years. And his actions aren't like, you know, I understand, I get it, but it's just heartbreaking to see like somebody that you like admire so bitter and grumpy and just hateful, you know? But like I get it. But you know, I sit here, I was, you know, it's hard because I grew up, I love Bret Hart. I can't do it. I was going to do it, but you know what? Brock Lesnar, for your entrance, for your tumbles, Brock Lesnar, you just won the BratWurst award for the week. Wow. I was going to give it a Bret, but I can't as a fan of the 90s. Just Bret, we love you. The wrestling business, yeah, it owes you a lot, but we love you as fans. You know, but yeah, so Brock Lesnar, you are the BratWurst Award winner. I can't give it a Bret. I can't. Raleigh, what do you think? Raleigh, they're sleeping. They're so cute. If you see them together, here, maybe I can lift this up and show you what I'm looking at. Look at those two. Best friends already. Let me just place this down real quick. But there you go. That was WWE, that was AEW, that was the BratWurst Award. We're going to be on before Survivor Series. That's for dang sure. And once Survivor Series is over, once the friends and family leave, I'll hop back on and I'll just do a quick show talking about Survivor Series. I did talk about how, like, there was, like, this dude, I think he lives across the street or, like, he works, like, in an office building, like, right by Petco Park. I think it's still called that. And he's slowly showing, like, construction of the Survivor Series. They already have, like, the cage set up. It's great. I can't wait. It's going to be looking great. UFC this week. UFC Qatar. Qatar. Shout out to them. Woke up early. Watched the show. Armen Tsurkyan. Is he the next contender for Ilia Topuria? He defeated Dan Hooker with a submission arm triangle choke 3 minutes and 34 seconds into the second round. Wow. Made it look easy. You know, he's took a while off. I think his last fight was in April 2024. I think he was injured. But he has been on a win streak. And I would give him the next fight. I do want to see Patty versus Ilia next. I do. But Armen, what a main event. I think he won the performance of the night. Then in the co-main event, Ian Gary defeated the former champion Bilal Muhammad 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Ian called out Islam Makhachev. I don't think Ian's ready for Makhachev. That fight with Bilal was a little kabuki, little bit, a couple eye pokes. Didn't look so dominant in a win. So, but hey, Ian Gary, he's now 17-1. Only lost once to Shavkat Rakhmonov, who might be the next contender. So he's definitely up there. But hey, stranger things have happened in UFC, especially the welterweight division. My favorite fight of all time is Matt Serra versus GSP 1, UFC 69, April 7th, 2007. I think it's 7th. Matt Serra, underdog. Weren't even talking about him. You're not going to defeat GSP. Knocked him out. Made him tap out, too. A lot of people don't realize that. So, and then, hey, 5'6" Long Island guy. I got to root for him. Yeah, so it was a huge fight. Armen, what's Dan Hooker? Dan Hooker is that guy who man, I don't want to use this term, but he's like a gatekeeper. Like, if you want to get to the next step, if you want to get to that championship shot, you got to beat Dan. And Armen did. Armen looked great. Ian might be next. Volkan Ozdemir defeated Alonzo Menafield. Quick KO. Then you got a couple. Jack Monson lost. I can't pronounce that name. I will try. I got to give him respect. Oh my God. There's a lot of Y's in this name. Mike Tebek Olabai. Okay. So, Oli, we'll call him that for short. One KO punch, 246. Waldo Cortez Acosta. I feel like he just fought like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he fought November 1st, and then he fought November 22nd. I do remember this. He got eye poked in the first round at his last fight, and was kind of like making fun of like Tom Aspinall, which I don't think you should do, because Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the world. And then, I didn't see this. Koji Horiguchi came back and won with a submission. Rear naked chokes. I love submissions. A good card, man. Some of these cards that, this was going to be a good card because you had former champions, title contenders, up-and-comers. So shout out to them. Shout out to a great card in Qatar. All right. And then the next show is going to be, December 6th. So we got a couple weeks before we talk about that. Marab versus Yan 2. We're going to definitely talk in depth on that one in a couple of weeks. I do want to talk about somebody who has been dominant so far. And his name is Gabe Steveson. Now, if you don't know Gabe Steveson was, I want to make sure I get this right. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2020 Summer Olympics. Started wrestling for a little bit, didn't really get over with the fans. Has a little bit of controversy. Allegations of sexual assault, which, allegations, sexual assault, always, even if it's allegations, don't go away. Look at some of the people that have their careers ruined by that. But, I want to say he's bouncing back. He's won his first 3 fights, dirty boxing in 15 seconds, and then 2 MMA KO punches in 1:38 and 24 seconds. I think Gabe Stevenson's going to be a dominant force in MMA. I can see him, because you got Greg Hardy. He came in from football, had his controversy. Didn't really work out for him, but Gabe Stevenson, he's got that wrestling pedigree. So, I don't think he's convicted of anything. I'm reading here, not face criminal charges due to lack of evidence, not pursue charges, so, hey, if he can move on from that, we'll see. I think he's going to be a dominant force. He's got, he's using his hands for these wins, guys. He's doing great. So, we'll see. I can see him definitely moving into the UFC. Dana White's Contender Series, maybe. Dana White loves his Contender Series. Dana White loves his up-and-comers. And, hey, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe a Gabe Steveson debut at the White House. Olympic gold medalist debut at the White House. Like they said, they're going to say we're going to have a White House card June 14th. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think it's going to happen. But good for Gabe. Good for them. We're going to talk about football now. We're going to move on to football. We have our first elimination. Our first, hey, goodbye. The New York Football Giants are eliminated. Wow. The first team 2-10 to be eliminated. I looked at their records. I looked at their games. They lost a lot of games close. They lost a lot of games with just a one-score goal or one score, whatever it's called. But the Giants are the first team eliminated. So New York fans, you got to root for the Bills now. Jets are going to be eliminated next round. It was a rough week 12. We can talk about the Raiders. Lost 5 in a row. Trash team. Just fired Chip Kelly. Goodbye, Chip Kelly. You're out of Las Vegas. 5 in a row. Broncos win 8 in a row. We can look at the games, definitely for sure. I was watching the 49ers and Panthers game. Shout out to my niece, Alyssa. She won the Family Feud. Her 49ers defeated my nephew, James's Panthers. Week 12, let's shout out to them. We had the Texans defeating the Bills. Chiefs over the Colts. Colts, come on, man. Chiefs 6-5, still in the hunt. Overtime win for the Chiefs. Seahawks, lock of the week, defeated the Titans. Packers over the Vikings. Cousin Lamar over the Jets. Lions over the Giants. Eliminate the Giants. Bears barely beat the Steelers. Oh my. Patriots won against the Bengals. Shadar Sanders defeated the Raiders. Not even competition. The Raiders are trash. Jaguars win a close one against Arizona. The Cowgirls beat the Eagles. Falcons defeat the Saints. And the Rams beat the Buccaneers in what could be a Super Bowl preview. And the 49ers beat the Panthers. Colts, you lost 1. You're still 8-3. Jaguars are just right there, 7-4. Broncos 9-2. Chargers lost. Broncos won. If you're a Broncos fan, be appreciative of what you have, Jonathan. 9-2. Lead that division. Chiefs still in it, unfortunately. When I say unfortunately, I don't mind the Chiefs. I just like to see new champions every year. Speaking about that, we will talk about that in a little bit. Eagles locked up the AFC East. Cowboys 5-5-1. Commanders 3-8. Giants eliminated. NFC North 8-3, 7-3, 7-4. Bears, Packers, Lions. Buccaneers 6-5. Panthers 6-6. Close. We can have the Panthers. Oh wow, Buccaneers lost 3 in a row. I haven't paid attention to that. I thought they were doing much better. Rams 6 wins in a row. Seahawks 1 win in a row. 1 win in a row. That doesn't make sense. And then 49ers 2 wins in a row. Cardinals, they're pretty much out. So we're coming down to nitty gritty. We got teams already eliminated. We got teams that are going to clinch. I can see if there's any. Let me see. Playoff clinching scenarios. Week 13. We can see. Week 13. Let's see if there's any. Let's see what happens. I don't think this is a. Okay. Giants have been eliminated. Arizona is going to be eliminated. Las Vegas Raiders are going to be eliminated. Jets are going to be eliminated. Yeah, so the division's going. This is, no teams just yet. I don't think I have an update. It's still a little early for like clinching scenarios. Patriots do take over the top seed in the AFC. It looks like. The NFC playoff picture, we can talk about that. Number 1, Rams, Eagles, Bears, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Packers, and 49ers. And then we have all these teams. Giants are eliminated. Saints 2-9. Commanders 3-8. NFC picture matches. And then AFC, Patriots, Broncos, Colts, Ravens, Chargers, Jaguars, and Bills. So shout out to them. No other team has been eliminated. Titans are going to be next. 1 and 2, guys. So, hey, good for the Patriots. They're the first seed right now. So we got playoffs. Talk about playoffs. So shout out to them. Shout out to all the teams that are doing good. Teams that are doing bad. Hey, Raiders. If you're gonna lose, let's get the first seed. All right, let's get the first seed. of the draft. Maybe draft a quarterback that will not throw an interception. But that was a football segment of our show. I do want to talk about the NBA. I'm not going to go over the standings because I feel that's very repetitive. You know, we go on the show once or twice a week. Standings aren't really going to change. But I do want to talk about somebody who is retiring this year. That is Chris Paul. Chris Paul, he is retiring after a 21-year career. Drafted 2005. Fourth overall. Now, Chris Paul, he is in that weird, not weird category, but he's one of the greatest players to never win an NBA Finals. Never get a ring. And I was like, oh, what other players never won a ring? R's and W's, folks. They're very hard for me. So I went to the internet, I went to my producer, Child LGBT, and I said, hey, show me the players that have never won an NBA Finals. And you know what he did? He did exactly that. So I'm going to get to that if I find it eventually. So yeah, what do we got here? We got Chris Jericho. Is Chris Jericho? He's going to be coming back to WWE soon? I think so. Break the walls down. Okay, so here are the top NBA players who never won a ring. And I'm going to read them, and there's a little sentence at the end. 1, Charles Barkley. We all know Charles Barkley. One of the greatest power forwards ever. 1993 MVP. Ran into Jordan's Bulls at the worst possible time. This is going to happen to a lot of 90s players. They're going to be good. Like the next 2 players. Maybe not number 2, because he's Karl Malone. Second on all-time scoring list. I don't know how updated that is. 2-time MVP. Lost twice to Jordan in the finals. Then he got all-time leader in assists and steals. John Stockton. Perfectly blocked by Jordan. Then you got one of my favorite players of all time. Non-Maverick. Allen Iverson. MVP. Cultural icon. Pound-for-pound legend. Went to the finals in 2001. Failed to win it. Steve Nash. Another one of my favorites. Canadian. 2-time MVP. Revolutionized the game. Bad injury luck and brutal playoff exits. Patrick Ewing, New York legend. Was the envelope frozen? You tell me. Reached the finals twice, lost to Hakeem in 94, and ran into Jordan again. Reggie Miller, one of the clutchest shooters of all time. Torched the Knicks every year. Hit the finals in 2000, but couldn't get past Shaq and Kobe. Dominick Wilkins, elite scorer. Ran into Birds, Celtic, MJ, and Isaiah's Pistons. That's rough. Late 80s, early 90s with the Birds, the Pistons, and the Bulls. Number 9, you got Chris Paul, like we just talked about, all NBA seasons, assists, steals, titles. Russell Westbrook reached the finals in 2012, but hasn't been back since. Carmelo Anthony, one of my favorites of all time. Purest scorer in NBA, Olympic god, never had the right roster. James Harden, one of my least favorite players. Always fell short. Damian Lillard, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. So I just want to go over that. I think Chris Paul, he's on, what team is he on now? He's on the Spurs, right? Now, I think the Spurs can do pretty good this year. As a Mavericks fan, the last thing I want to see is the Spurs title, right? But, he's on the Clippers. He was on the Spurs last year. Hey, I want to see Clippers win too. I like seeing championships to teams that never won championships. So, shout out to them. Not much, I don't want to go over the standings again. I'll go over the standings maybe once a week. Let them update. Let them, But I did something fun in the NHL. I went to my producer, Child LGBT, and I said, hey, NHL, they're pretty much a quarter of the way done with their season. Let's go to school. Let's get some grades. Let's grade some teams. All 32 teams. So I'm gonna just go over the list real quick. We'll start from worst to best. Worst team in the league, Nashville. They got a big F. Calgary Flames, D. Vancouver Canucks, D+. St. Louis Blues, D. Toronto, D+, Buffalo Sabres, C-, New York Rangers, C-, Chicago Blackhawks, C+, Winnipeg Jets, B-, Edmonton Oilers, D+, Calgary Blue Jackets, or Columbus Blue. What a team they are. Like, if you gave me $1 million and said, name every NHL team, I could name 31. And I'll be like, Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, Ohio? But, yeah, they got C-. San Jose Sharks, C. The Florida Panthers, C+. Philadelphia Flyers, C+. Pittsburgh Penguins, B-. Montreal Canadiens, C+. Boston Bruins, C. Washington Senators, B. Washington Capitals. Washington Senators is from the replacements. Ottawa, C+. Detroit, B-, Utah, B. Vegas Golden Knights, B. Kings, B-, Thrashers, B. Right? Minnesota Thrashers? No, Minnesota Wild. B. Islanders, B. Seattle, B-, Tampa Bay, B+. New Jersey, B. Anaheim Ducks, B+. Dallas Stars, A-, Carolina Hurricanes, A. And Colorado Avalanche, A+. So I thought that'd be kind of a fun little thing to do. You know, just not go over all the records like we done. So that's them. That is, So how's your team doing? Is your team winning? Is your team losing? We talked a lot today. We into this Rolly, Penny. They're still sleeping behind me. They've been good boys. I do want to talk about one thing, non-sports. So we got over the sports show. This is kind of like more like a miscellaneous, kind of like a cultural thing I want to talk about. After 3 years, Stranger Things has finally come back. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I don't think any show should last 3 years between seasons. That's ridiculous, guys. It is, but finally back. It airs tomorrow. I love Stranger Things. Hopper is one of my favorite characters. Eleven, Mike. It's funny too because I make a joke where it's like, they were cute little kids in the first season. It's like, oh, we're gonna go chase the Demogorgon, right? Now they're much older, Hollywood stars, all handsome, good looking, and it's like, oh my god, we gotta go chase the Demogorgon. It's like, nah, bro. I'm like, I got an interview in like 10 minutes. I can't do that. Like, they're so much older now, so I'm excited. Maybe just a review. Maybe I'll talk about it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's I've always thought it was funny. It's like, I waited 3 years for this show to come back. Well, everybody did. I get it. If you just started watching it last week, you didn't have to wait 3 years. But we all waited 3 years. It's coming back. Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, I'm gonna binge watch the first part, and then the second part's on Christmas, and the third part's on New Year's. So there's that. So Stranger Things, spoilers. I hope Eddie Munson comes back because his whole character was phenomenal. Not phenomenal count. He was great. The whole story is great. Hawkins is taken over by the Upside Down. Vecna is still alive. Is Max alive? What's gonna happen? So shout out to them, the Duffer Brothers, Netflix. Going forward, let's keep these TV shows consistent. I remember my favorite TV show of all time is Sons of Anarchy. Jax Teller, Opie, Clay, Tara, Gemma. Favorite show of all time. I almost named him Opie. We were going to change his name. I was like, I'm going to name him Opie, but, he's Rolly. So, I was going to say, every season it would come on September, end around December. Then they had the little preview in August. So, let's go back to those days, okay? Because television now in the streaming services, you get 4 episodes one day, and then you go 2 months for the next 4. I don't mind waiting a week. What is it called? Water cooler talk. Did you see what happened on Stranger Things? So, Stranger Things coming back. I'll talk about it next show. I don't know when I'll be on next show. I don't. But I hope everybody had a great is going to have a great Thanksgiving. There's going to be, if you're alone, try to go out. Try to, there's a lot of food banks out there. There's a lot of places that will help you if you can't, have a great Thanksgiving by yourself. If you can't, nobody should be alone during the holidays. So, good for, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, Black Friday shopping. That's also another thing I can talk about. Black Friday shopping isn't what it used to be. I remember back in the day, you would go to Walmart. We camped out once to get my friend, their parents, a TV for Black Friday prices. And I miss it. I don't miss the stampedes and the rush and the craziness. But, Black Friday, the sales starts on Friday. But, hey, that's it for the show, guys. Have a happy holiday. I know Rolly's going to get fed with a lot of turkey. We're going over Babe's family's house. It's going to be a great time. So, shout out to everybody. And, hey, guys, that's it for the show. Like I said, love each other, love yourself, and love sports. Brock Lesnar, enjoy your BratWurst award. Guys, I'm out. I love you all. What? Good night.